Welcome back. We now have the candidates for City Council District 5 with us, Democrat Ruby Seiler and Republican David Nutty. Let's begin with an opening statement from each of you. Ruby, we'll start with you.
Okay, I'm originally from Greensburg, Indiana, and my parents was Edwin and Oberle, and they was farmers, and I graduated from Sand Creek High School many years ago, and I have 3 children. I have two boys and 1 girl, and right now I am on the city councilman, enjoy working on it and listen to everybody. And I worked at Visdown for 38 years and other jobs part-time.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Nutty?
Yeah, I'm David Nutty, and I am a candidate for District 5 City Council. I've lived north of 24th Street nearly all of my 28-year married life to Ruth Nutty. Many of you know her. We have 2 daughters, and they're both nurses. I'm proud of that, and I've got a son-in-law in the Navy. I am running for city council because I believe in Connersville. I've worked for Connersville Utilities for 40 years, and I'm prepared to continue to serve the city of Connersville as city council, and look forward to your vote come November.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to start with our questions. Ruby, we'll start with you first. Well, starting first at least. Indiana state law permits a city to impose a public safety income tax of 1.5%. The law also requires the Loit and Coit tax, which is already in place locally. This would raise the local income tax to around 4%. Would you vote for passage of a public safety tax, and why?
I would not vote for it because I feel like the way we are now, we cannot afford it. The people that can't even pay their taxes and things now. And I feel like that we don't need no more raises on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Nutty?
Now, in general, I am never in favor of new taxes. This type of tax has been popular elsewhere, but would not be popular here. We should find ways to live within our means, do everything we can to work with department heads and the other councilmen and make sure that it's within your means and within your budget, and then work with that plan.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on to our second question, Mr. Nutty. We'll start with you on this one. Recently, the city approved the purchase of property off of Veterans Memorial Drive to move the Babe Ruth complex. Do you support this plan? Why or why not?
Yeah, the plan is in action, and I do support it. I was asked during a city council meeting to come forward and respond to that, what I thought about it. And my first thought was I want to make sure that there was a plan in place and that there was funds available, and all those things are true. I've looked at those, and they are ready and prepared. I do support the sports complex. I hope it's more than just baseball. It should be multi-use. I'd even be supportive of something outside of sports, maybe a music venue during off-season, but use it for a lot of things.
Okay, thank you very much. Mrs. Seiler?
Well, at first I voted no. I was the second one voted on the city council because I feel like we couldn't do it. But I think that if you get the canal and the canoe and things working, the river work is fine. But Ford's now is saying a baseball field. I see that way down the road. And we have spent many years down there at the Babe Ruth tournament. And we've had lots of fun. Pete Rose has been down there, and it was a beautiful place. And I think now we get something, and we want something better, but we don't take care of what we got now. And I think our places go down there and clean it up and make it look good. We do get flooded out, but still, it's been a good home and a good place, and nobody's got a disease or been sick because of that down there. My boys play down there, and I've been down there during the Babe Ruth tournament. I thought it was great. They had it maintained. Everything was taken care of. Now they've just let it go. And I think if you got anything, take care of it. We talk about the city not taking, or people around here not taking care of the property. We've not took care of that property. And we just let it go. And if you let anything go, it does look bad. But it has been a beautiful place. And I think we'll be there for many more years because I don't see how we can afford a baseball field, and they want to charge for people getting in and everything. And I don't think we can do that. But for his canal and for the trail, it's great.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on to our next question. Mrs. Seiler, we'll start with you. As a member of the City Council, how would you improve the quality of life in Connersville?
Well, I think one thing, everybody ought to stop and look what they got. If we don't take pride of our houses and our homes, if we throw everything outdoors and never pick up no trash, we're going to look bad. And it does look bad. I've been walking, I have walked for about going on 2 weeks, about 3 times a week, and it is amazing to see things as outdoors that you could get rid of. And I do think that our city could offer to pick up some trash once a month. Go around and pick it up. Maybe they get it cleaned up. And I think something should be done with the mess, because it is a mess. I mean, there's some porches you can't even get on. And I know there's so many kids, they wonder where their next meal's coming from. I was out last night, and I felt like some kids didn't even have a pencil to write with, and I left them pencils. And that one lady said, "You sent from heaven," because my kids didn't even know how they was going to use a pencil to write and do their homework. So that's sad.
It is. Thank you very much, Mr. Nutty.
Now, quality of life is how people enjoy themselves while they live here. I think we have great parks, we have good pool, good entertainment. Of course, this is someone who grew up here, and I find the positive in Connersville. I want to stress to others to also look at the positive. Built this town up, the pride part. There's been lots of things talk about the negative of it, but let's look at the positive. I want to continue to do that. I'd encourage people to visit things that we already have that's positive, and enjoy those and share that with others, and encourage others to do the same.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on to our next question, and you will be starting for us this time, Mr. Nutty. What can be done to make Connersville more attractive to potential employers?
Well, it's somewhat a similar question because when people come in, they're going to look at the quality of life, the other positive aspects of the city of Connersville. And I think that what we have here is good. We do need to clean some things up. There are plans in place to do that. I wish we could do more with some of the properties. I know that there are restraints because of legal issues and finding the right owner and so forth, but we'll work through that. I'd encourage people, while you're out walking, you be the one who picks up that can, or you one who picks up that cup and toss it in the next trash can. You know, start out with us. Start out with me as I walk around and do the same thing. We have to have the pride in our city.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Seiler.
It does need a lot of cleanup, and you just talk about picking up stuff. I do constantly. I mean, cleanness is the best thing in life. And like people throwing out cigarettes, just throwing out cups. It's so easy to go home and put them in your own trash instead of leaving it for somebody else. I think we all got to work on this. It's a bad, bad situation.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to our very last question. Mrs. Seiler, we'll start with you. Other cities have reduced their costs by combining services such as EMS and fire. What are your thoughts on this idea?
Well, I think you take the firemen and the EMS and a policeman. They are our lives here. And if our house is burning, we do need some help. And we do need to keep some people here. And we do need more help there. And I think we can do without other things to keep those people here and pay them and keep them all working. But I think we do need more help. There's money somewhere out there. You can find it.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Nutty.
Well, of course, blending departments, it's an option, but it's just one of many options. You want to look at the cost of what's doing that, the legalities of blending city entities along with county entities. Make sure that works well. But right up front, I don't know that that's the best option. We need to find ways to just work within our budget. That is the responsibility of people who are on the council. We look at budgets and we work through that, and we make sure that we do that. With a really good team, you're going to get that done. You're not going to please everybody, and even the decisions you make is not necessarily pleasing to you, but it's things that must be done. So I'm prepared to make those hard decisions.
Okay, thank you very much. Right now, we're going to open the floor up to both of you so you can go with your closing statements. Mr. Nutty, we'll start with you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate allowing us to come here and introduce ourselves and talk with you tonight. And also everyone who's watching. It's certainly a pleasure to be here. But I want to take a couple moments before I speak of myself and tell you that during this campaign, I've gotten to know some folks. It's been a pleasure to get to know one of the mayor candidates, find out that they share my same faith beliefs, that they have a big heart, that they are real easy to talk to, but that necessarily is not reasons to vote for them. There's another candidate who I've worked with for years. They are fun to be around, like to laugh with them, been to union meetings and training with them. But, having fun is just not necessarily reasons for me to vote for mayor for them. And then there's Brian Dobb, a great guy, real smart. I've watched him in action. He speaks well. He has lots of business and commercial contacts. He just does a great job as a businessman, and I think he's going to do a great job as our next mayor. Myself, I think I'd be part of that team. I think it'd be a great team. I think that we come together and just do really good things for the city because our caring, we just care about the city. My past experience with working with department heads and all the departments as I was manager and an employee at Connors Utilities, and also recent appointment to the board of directors for NATCO Credit Union. I will get great education there in finances, and I'd like to bring that with me. So I just know that I'd be a great councilman if you would take your time and vote for David Nutty for City Council.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Seiler.
Yes, I've been on the council a little over a year. I took Nancy Stevenson's place. That she showed me a lot and told me a lot, and she was very easy. She has passed away but I really think of her, how she would want me to do. And she always said, listen to your people and take action and write it down, who you talk to, and what they said and what you said, and keep the dates and everything. That was main, that you could always go back and check your records. And I did that. And I do hope to run, to be elected again, and I'll do the best I can. And if anybody has a problem, just call me. And I do think it would help more if people would attend your meetings. You can't sit back and criticize someone if you've not been there. And everybody should come to the city council meeting. They would know how to talk and everything and know more about it. And I appreciate your vote, November, and I'm looking forward to serve.
All right, thank you both very much. Thank you. We will be right back with the candidates for for the office of City Clerk Treasurer.